Now, learn the bass catching techniques of the Bassmaster Tournament Trail Pros. Coming next on the Bassmasters, right here on TNN Outdoors.
There's a big one. Oh, yeah. I'll take that one. He's got it good, too. There's 5. That one hit it in open water behind the moss. Sometimes we'll do that. Gotta get rid of those 2 little ones and I'm in there.
Today, the Bass Angler Sportsman Society's Tournament Trail makes an historic trip west. The Bassmaster California Invitational launches a new Western BASS circuit and introduces bass anglers to the California Delta, a vast waterway, and without question, the Golden State's premier bass fishery.
Now the Western fishermen have a chance to fulfill their dream with the Major League of Bass Fishing coming to the Western United States. An old friend is with deepest appreciation. I have a plaque here from the Western fishermen. I'm going to read what it says. It says, with our deepest appreciation and warmest welcome to Ray Scott, founder of Bass Angler Sportsman Society. Your inspiration, creativity, and leadership has brought America's finest fishermen into the arena of competition.
This season on the Bassmasters, we're going coast to coast, following the expanded BASS Tournament Trail. Our coverage here on the California Delta promises to be a challenge. The playing field covers roughly 1,000 miles of canals, tule berms, river runs, and frequent tidal changes. During the next half hour, you'll get to know this unique place and meet some of the West's best bass anglers. Old pros like Dee Thomas, the father of flipping, and Mike Folkestad, a tour veteran and winner of the 1992 Florida Invitational. And meet locally known experts like Steve Sapp, 24-year-old Mark Tyler, but already a Delta veteran, Bobby Barrick, the pre-tournament pick, and another Delta rat, Robert Lee, who knows how to navigate this maze and catch bass. New faces, new places. But one thing never changes on the tournament trail, and that's a bass is a bass. But these Western pros have some different tips and tactics on how to catch them. Stay tuned. I'm Bob Cobb. The Bassmasters will be right back.
The Bassmaster California Invitational, a $200,000 payout. The first in a series of 4 West Coast tournaments on the 1997-98 BASS Tournament Trail. 283 entries. The winner nets $40,000, but there's bigger game at stake here. Do well on the Delta and set the stage for a run at qualifying for the 1998 Bassmasters Classic World Championship as one of 5 qualifiers from the Western Circuit. The California Delta, a vast, mind-boggling waterway, an endless maze of man-made canals, irrigation ditches, and backwater sloughs connected to miles and miles of the Sacramento and San Joaquin rivers. If getting from point A to point B isn't enough of a challenge, there's a strong tidal influence on the Delta. At times, the water level will change 5 to 6 feet with the ebb and flow of the Pacific Ocean. Growing up on the Delta is an advantage for Bobby Barrick of nearby Oakley, but his knowledge of how the tides affect the bass behavior makes him the pre-tournament favorite here. Yesterday at the Day 1 weigh-in, Bobby checked in a solid 5 bass limit, weighing 18 pounds, 14 ounces to rank number 2 on the leaderboard. But this morning, the topwater bite is slow.
Made a little gamble this morning. Ran down the river about 10 miles. Before I come here, I got a little big fish spot down there. I caught a 3.5 and a 4. And went down there to see if she had any buddies. And there wasn't anybody else home. So we're running a little behind. Oh, God. Catch that thing. Oh, that's a big fish. Get her? Bring her over here. Bring her over here.
These Delta big mouths grow big, all right. Credit Greg Warren of Arizona with a 9-pounder right here. But let's roll the tape back to yesterday's weigh-in.
Oh, holy smoke, 5 pounds, 10 ounces. Now, the big bass today so far, move it out of here, is what is it? 9.7 is the biggest bass. The biggest bass is 9.7. Watch the scale. Watch it, 9.7, gotta beat 9.7. 11 pounds, 4 ounces, boom. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was doing frog on the mat here, really slow, letting it stop and sit for a long time. And fish came up and he held it. I mean, that was about it. Nothing other than just being super patient, which is a little bit more. I mean, I'm used to going a whole lot faster with this particular bait. But yesterday, and what I found out in pre-fish was they just really wanted it slow. And I didn't get a lot of fish in pre-fish either, but everything was quality, so that's what we're doing again today.
Tournament leader Robert Lee is also working the floating algae mat pattern. His 5 bass and 19 pounds 10 ounces put him solidly on top after day 1.
Well, yesterday on this spot right here, this little clump of weeds, this rat moss, there's a lot of fish under it. There still is. Had a couple blows, but they missed it. There's one. That one never missed it. A big fish, too. Good fish. You want me to lip him, or you're going to bounce him or what? The best mats are mats that are covering weeds that have passageways through them. And this mat here, there's a school of fish here because of the wind blew a lot of the other moss away overnight the day before the tournament. And this is a protected little spot, and there's little alleys for the fish to swim in. A lot of the other rat moss, it's not very productive, is real heavy weeds underneath it. So what you want to look for the schools of bass, is a decent-sized pad like this with alleyways for them to swim in. And the only way to find that is to look at the surrounding weeds around it and to actually, fish the mat and practice to see if you get blown on it, because a lot of mats look the same, but you can't really see underneath them. So if you get blown on it, there's usually, a few more fish in the area. There's a big one. This fish will go 5 pound. No, I got him. Yeah. That's what I'm looking for right there. I need 4 more now and I'll be a happy man. Well, that's how they eat it usually. You just gotta keep looking for them.
We'll learn more tips and tactics for California's Delta Bassin. But right now, it's time for Bass Mail, where you ask the pros for how-to answers. Jim Smith of Del Rio, Texas writes, "What's a zipper worm? I hear Western anglers mention it. Do you rig it Texas style?" Here's Robert Lee with the answer.
Okay, when I rig this bait, I just take it, I got a 4/0 hook, and you just rig it Texas style. You put it in the head, bring it out, stick it in. And this bait's kind of unique because the ribs are raised, so you can poke the hook out a little bit, and it's still completely weedless because these ribs stick up a little bit, which helps you stick a few fish that are biting real light. And that's how I rigged it. And then I had a 5/16 ounce sinker peg. I put it down about like that, so I had a little space between the hook and the sinker for a little movement. Instead of, if you put it down real tight, it's real rigid and you lose a few fish.
Now you peg it with a slip sinker. I mean, with a toothpick.
Yeah, with a toothpick. I grabbed some out of the restaurant and pegged my waist.
Well, I've done. And that's the zipper.
That's the zipper you can hand out.
If you have a question for the Bassmaster Tournament Trail pros, write Bass Mail, 8600 Coppertown Lane, Box 404, Dallas, Texas, 75243. We may select your question to answer on the air.
This old topwater lure, the Rat, is a classic fake. Even the cat thinks it's for real. So do largemouth bass. But you've got to have an attitude adjustment to fish it.
Come on, baby. Stop playing. Got him. Oh, God. You got to get used to that when you're rat fishing, because a lot of times, a lot of fish miss it. And you just got to remain confident that sooner or later, one's going to eat it, and you'll get them in the boat. A lot of guys can't handle that because they're missing fish, losing fish, you know, and it blows their mind. They go, God, I could have had a 6-pounder. Oh, that was a 5-pounder, and they get all real frustrated. Oh, God. Took my tails off. When the fish are just sucking at it, you want to feel the fish first. And a lot of times I go by sight on a long cast. If I don't see my bait on top of the water, I set the hook without even feeling them if it's a hard strike. But most of the time I wait till I feel the fish. That's why I like the white color, because I can see it out there on a longer cast. If you wait too long, say the fish eats it and you wait to feel him, a lot of times when you wait to feel him, it's too late. They'll spit it out, or you'll catch them on the side of the lip and they'll come out. And it's tough. It takes practice, lots of practice. There's a big one. Oh, yeah. I'll take that one. He's got it good, too. There's 5. That one hit it in open water behind the moss. Sometimes we'll do that. Gotta get rid of those 2 little ones, and I'm in there. Boy, he took it down, too.
The California Invitational is the first Bassmaster Tournament Trail event held this far west. But California ranks 2nd in BASS members. And for the Day 2 weigh-in, there's a lot of fan interest and press coverage.
Robert E. Lee, our leader from yesterday with 19 pounds and 10 ounces. Give him a nice welcome. And folks, he's going to reclaim the lead. Watch what happens. Watch what happens. Robert E. Lee, 16 pounds and 9 ounces. Let's give him a railroad hand. Fantastic.
Thanks. I found out something later today that was good. I had 3 small fish. After the camera boat left me, I called 3 of them out on a different pattern later in the day, last 45 minutes before weigh-in. So I think...
Now it's Mark Tyler's turn. Yesterday, he ranked 6th behind his buddy, Robert Lee.
Here it comes. Mark, he's loaded, people. He's loaded. He's loaded. Headed for the Bassmasters Classic. Hey! 21 pounds. Mark it. 10 ounces. 10 ounces. Mark it. Boom. Hold up 2 of them, son. Puts him in the lead, people. Mark is taking the lead.
Mark Tyler jumps ahead of Robert Lee on the Day 2 leaderboard with 37 pounds, 2 ounces. There's less than a pound difference. Steve Sapp holds on to 3rd with 33 pounds, 3 ounces, ahead of Bobby Barrick and D. Thomas in 5th. We've got an old-fashioned Western shootout. Final round action of the Bassmaster California Invitational is coming up next. Day 3, final round of the Bassmaster California Invitational. Trying to pad his slim 15-ounce advantage, tournament leader Mark Tyler returns to a cove in the Middle River area. He scores with a jig bite, but barely a 12-inch keeper. However, he's only hoping for a 5-bass start here. Mark's big strikes come later as the tide switches and current pulls the bass to the corners on the deeper channel Tule burns.
Our Bassmasters cameraman, Bo Anello, is tracking Robert Lee in the northern area of the Delta. Robert's trying to coax a big bite on his topwater bait, but figures his backup pattern, flipping, will be the key today.
If I can get him in. Oh yeah.
Mark Tyler's using a homemade 1/4 ounce black jig with a 5/0 flipping hook. He wants a slower fall, but a big, wide gap hook. So he molds his own jigs. Mark adds a Zoom plastic chunk trailer.
I don't think that's a keeper.
With a strong wind scattering the big mats, Robert Lee is targeting smaller, calmer pockets this morning.
Get up, baby. Come here.
Mark Tyler's window of opportunity for big bites may be shut today.
Oh, the tide is absolutely the key to catching my bigger fish. Unfortunately, the tide gets late. The tide changes about 50 minutes a day, and I really need the low water, which in this tournament happens to be, well, the first day is about 1 o'clock, and yesterday is about 2 o'clock. Today it's gonna be about 3 o'clock. So it's gonna be tight. At the end of the day, at last hours when I've really been coming on strong and getting my key fish. The low tide, I've been fishing, getting my good ones on pretty much isolated wood. With the high water, they just have too much stuff to swim up in. Oh my God. That fish is all of 6, 7 pounds. Oh man. Just gave it a big kiss and let it go.
As exciting as topwater rat fishing can be, it's also unpredictable. Robert Lee's backup pattern is flipping a Texas rig zipper worm around deeper tule berms.
What you want to target is these tule point and the eddies in the current. The current's coming this way, so behind each one of them clumps of tules is a little calm spot, a little deep hole. And then when the tide turns around, starts coming in, they swim to the other side of the tule point, and they get on the other side of it in that other little calm spot. So I just go down the bank, flipping the calm side on the tough bites, and on the good bites, I flip both.
Most West Coast tournaments are 2-day affairs.
There's a big fish.
A single pattern often works out. But in a 3-day Bassmaster tournament grind, a secondary pattern is a must. And Robert Lee is the man with the plan.
Got to have 11:15. Let's go. Hit the scale. 14 pounds, 13 ounces. Talk to me. Woo! Wow! 14-13. That's the new leader, and I think you won the tournament.
The Bassmaster California Invitational Champion, Robert Lee. For the record, no kin to the famous Confederate general. But this Robert Lee took command, capturing a winning total of 51 pounds, plus the top prize of $40,000. Steve Sapp earns runner-up honors with 48 pounds, 1 ounce, worth $24,000. Mark Tyler finishes third, followed by D. Thomas and Bobby Barrett. Right now, it's time for the Pros Pointer, the champion's winning ways. Brought to you by Wrangler Rugged Wear, gear for the outdoors.
This is the man swimming frog. This is what I caught most of my big fish on at the Delta Invitational Tournament. This is how it is just out of the package. It's got a hollow frog body, a detachable hollow frog body, and a lead weight on it. What I did was, I fish it just like this if I'm fishing open water. But since I was fishing on top of the moss, I did a few little tricks to help improve my catch. First, I added a little bit of weight. I took another weight, a lead wrapping off another hook off a frog. Just detach the body, slide the other weight down all the way, take this wrap and wrap it around the hook tight as you can, just above the other weight. Make it tight with your fingers and slide it down the hook so it weights it more towards the back. Also, I added 2 beads for noise, 2 glass beads. There's a little hollow cavity right there. I took the beads, stuck them in the hole, and then put it back down on the hook. Now this frog is ready to fish on top of moss. It weighs twice as much as it did before. You can cast it a lot better into the little pockets, and it'll push down harder on the moss, making it easier for the fish to come through and eat it.
Next week, the Bassmasters head to the Canadian border and 1,000 Islands area for the New York Bassmaster Invitational. Join us right here for all the action on TNN Outdoors. And catch up for the latest bass tournament news on our website at www.bassmaster.com.